across the board here and all the channels. And there you go. All right, buddy. Well, we're ready here for another day. We got a special edition today. We got lots to go over. From everything that happened over at the Crossville for the come up $250,000 race. That was an interesting outcome. So we're going to share everything with that. We're going to share a video. It's going to premiere after this live session here. It's going to go live at 9 o'clock. What's up, Brian? How you doing down there in Indiana? And
hey,
we
have car brawl in the house.
We got Adam Gaptrain is here. Casey Mack, Ryan's going to be joining us in. He's getting his car loaded up on the trailer, everybody. Getting ready to go to this cash out event. I'm hitting out as soon as this live feed's over. I'm heading down to there as well to meet up with my guys halfway. We have Happy with us here as well. He's going to share with us the cash days down in Kentucky. That is something you guys are not going to want to miss. That is going to be quite the show. You need to be there if you're fast. I'm hoping that everybody there has the baddest cars are going to be there. It looks like it's a pretty big turnout. So we'll talk about that. And so let's show you guys a little sneak peek, a little bit of this video dropping right after this live session here. So here we go. While we get everybody.
I hit recorded, drop you. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, looking like I'm from the deep. These no Cartiers, pockets deep, deep, deep. I press the button and the doors go off like.
I do 20. I don't bet on that.
20.
I got a 10 in here somewhere. I got 20. You like over here?
I get you for 10 on this.
Neighborhood be the name. Neighborhood that's me. Neighborhood that's name. Neighborhood do the dance. Neighborhood do the deal.
So my name's Billy Raines. People call me Wild Bill. We're from Houston, Tomball area. And
All right. What's up, Richard? How you doing? So I'm not going to play the rest of that video. There's a lot more. I definitely want to see some crazy stuff that went down. And all right, everybody's starting to hit me up already. So it looks like we're good to go. And we have Trent, our co-host today.
Yep.
And so we have lots going on just all over. What's going on, Chris? How you doing over there in Ohio?
Fine.
Appreciate it. Good talking to you again. So we're going to get started here. Again, I told you everybody who's just got on, Casey Max is going to be coming on with us. He's getting his car on the trailer to head down to cash out. Again, I'm heading out to cash out as soon as we're done here with the live feed. We got the premiere of the highlight video dropping at 9 o'clock right after this. You guys are going to want to definitely watch that all the way through. Whew. And we got Adam Gaptrain from MAK TV down in Indiana. We got Happy here from Cash Days coming up down in Kentucky. Something that's not to be missed. I mean, every hitter is going to be there. So we got lots to go over. Everything that's happened from this weekend. What's up, Jasper? How you doing?
Jasper's the man.
Jasper is the man.
Hey,
It's a good
Rhonda,
question.
how you doing?
What does it take to be as awesome as Adam Hudson? One may never know.
Shit.
It's like the Tootsie Pop question.
I think you have to, first you got to be pretty dumb to even do the stupid shit we do all the time.
What's up, Josh?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be any fun if it required like a massive amount of intelligence. It'd be like a test.
Oh, exactly right. If you
No,
were
with
smart,
that.
you would definitely not do the things we do and waste all of our money and race every weekend and don't be responsible. You would do none of those things.
Oh, Mustang Willie's already in the comments. He's got jokes. This is gonna be a lot of fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun night tonight. What's going on, Megan? How you doing? And so we got Josh Williams in and a bunch of others. So
Now his name, we can't call him Josh Williams. His name is Mustang Willie.
Mustang Willie. Okay,
Mustang
I got
Willie.
that
Yeah,
right.
that's going back to the forum days. Mustang Willie.
Richard said spending cash is bad. I said I don't know about going racing, man. It's expensive.
I think he misspelled the word necessary.
There we go.
Like, you got to
That's
spend
the
the money.
right word. When it breaks, rebuild it. There we go. Andy's came on too. What's going on, Andy? Alrighty. So I know we got a few things going on. We have a anarchy event that's going to be happening coming up on June 11th. And it's going to be interesting. So interesting things have happened. I'll let Trent just kind of roll with things, and we'll go from there.
I don't want to get into that just yet. We'll save that for a later time.
We'll save that for later.
We're going to save that for a little later, because I kind of dropped a little hint with the guys on my own page that we're going to talk about it. There's been some news today. It's been a little tumultuous, and we're not going to get into a whole lot about it, but we're going to touch base on it, but not right now because we got other stuff to do.
Sounds good.
So we have guests here, and the guests take precedence.
Absolutely. So why don't we get started with Happy, and let's talk about this Cash Day event that's coming up. So you guys can see on the screen there, we have the Kentucky Cash Days. This is going to be a big event. It's on this next weekend, next Saturday, actually.
27.
I'll let Happy kind of go with it and kind of explain a little bit what's going on.
Yeah, how it all started really was Thanksgiving Day is one of our biggest street race days in the city of Louisville. So that's where Turkey Bash come along. That's where the Black Friday event come along. Well, I'm more of a street guy. I come from the streets. I like staying in the streets. But this facility come about for me to have something there and actually not run from the police all night. So here we are, and now it's turned into something bigger than I even thought ever expected in 30 days. I haven't been promoting this, but just for a month. And it is if everybody shows up that says they're coming, it's going to be huge. I'm not promoting off anybody's fame or saying, oh, so-and-so's coming. I don't do any of that because I keep it more like we're on the street. And when you're on the streets, you don't want to know who all's coming. I don't want people to know so-and-so's coming. That makes somebody scared. But if everybody comes, it's going to be huge, and the pot's going to be big.
That's a good deal.
Definitely. I'll actually show you guys the surface, if that's okay. Happy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's post that up. Okay. So everybody can see. So there was a little bit of practice on it. Not for the racers, but they had to get the track. It was a little rubber on because it was a fresh surface. I'm sure he'll tell you more about it, but you guys can take a look. It's very fresh and very slippery, so it's going to be very interesting.
I certainly hope it's just the angle. It looked like the track curved slightly off in the distance. I hope that's an illusion. Otherwise, y'all are in for a treat.
I think everybody's
concrete walls down both sides.
What's that? It's got a wall on the right
concrete
side.
walls
The
down
other
both?
side. The other side is guardrail.
Okay.
And then it's got big hay bales at the very
And then at the
end.
finish line, it's got full-size hay bales. I mean, like I said, this is out in the middle of a 400-acre farm, and this guy just said, you know what, man, I think I'm going to build a drag strip in my backyard, and it's pretty badass.
It's a concrete.
awesome.
It's a guy that owns a concrete company. He's like, we're not going to spoil we're going to use a washout for spoiling more. Just bring it to my house.
Exactly.
Amen.
And he tells me, hey, if you got a grudge
Smart.
with somebody or somebody wants to settle a street race tonight, I'll turn the lights on and we'll get down. So, I mean, it's awesome.
That's pretty sick.
All. That is badass.
It's badass.
Yeah.
It's very
That's
badass.
incredible. Yeah, we need
I want that guy to
every-
be my neighbor.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And in other news, everybody is moving to the guy with the drag strip.
Right.
So, they build like neighborhoods around
exactly.
it, just grudge
Yeah.
racers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He just made a
Real
lot of
estate
new
guys
Facebook friends.
Oh, I'm sure he made a lot of new friends. Definitely.
It's awesome.
What's going on, Mark? How you doing? Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a good event. You guys definitely want to get with Happy. I'll post up the information about that. I'll let him share whatever he has to share. I'll show you guys some of the sponsors too that have chipped in on the event as well. So there's some of the sponsors. There's a lot of sponsor money in this event. So you guys definitely want to go. Definitely want to go see this event. I mean, I'm not going to give names either, but all the major hitters are going to be there, so it's going to be a good time. And did I hear right that there's going to be a big tire on top of small tire also?
Yeah,
Both?
there is a big tire event. There's another guy, Robert, that's controlling that for me. I'm just pretty much a small tire guy, and there's very little rules. So if you got to think outside of the box to get your car down a surface, this is the race for you. It's a 28, 10.5 non-W and whatever else it takes to get down the track first. That's what I want you to do. I want to see who the badass is on a small tire on that surface that day. It's going to be cold. The high is supposed to be 50, but the sun's out. It's supposed to be low at 36. We're going to get down. I'm going to pay one guy. So whatever, I'm not going to walk up to everybody and say, this is what we're doing with the money and this is how we're splitting and this is what you're getting. I'm going to pay one guy a lump sum of money and we're going to get this shit on.
And he's going to go back to the guy he just beat and they're going to split it up real quick.
And whatever they want to do, they can do it.
And it's funny because I don't know if you guys have ever been in a situation like this where, we're getting toward the end of the night and I've had racers back in the COTS days that came to Steve and I and they're like, yo, man, we're not going to do this. We're not comfortable. And we kind of huddled up and we're like, we need a final. Well, we want to split it. Whatever you do with the money is up to you guys. We don't care. But you don't just walk up and go, we're not going to race the final. Like, unfortunately, that's not the racer's call to make. We don't want to endanger anybody. But at one point, these guys are like, oh, we're tired and we don't want to do it. We're like, do you want to get paid? Well, yeah. Well, then you got to race. Like, that's kind of how that works.
Yeah.
But, again, as a promoter, nobody cares what the racers do with the money. 90% of the guys split it anyway because they don't want to wad their shit up over 10 grand,
Sure. Yep. I don't care if people split the sponsor money as soon as they come in the gate, but there's going to be a winner and that one person's going to get paid.
Right. And then whatever you do after you're out of eyesight, have fun.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Yep. Some of the guys are asking, it's actually next weekend down in Kentucky. Here, we got a lot of people that jumped on. I'll just post the flyer up here again so you guys can see it.
That's a good looking flyer, by the way. Nice job.
Awesome.
I know you got some shirts too that you put together for the event also.
Well,
there he's wearing it. There we go.
Street racer.
Yeah, I'll wait for mine when I get there.
I like it. I like the flash. That's an old school flashlight too. I like that.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that for years.
Happy, I got a question for you.
Yep.
I noticed on your flyer, Brian, can you throw the flyer up again real quick?
Sure.
I noticed on your flyer that you are not doing lock-ins. I'll pay at the gate.
Yep.
I'm curious as to if you have a particular reason for that or if it's just your preference. And I'm alluding to something here.
Like whenever I street raced, I feel more like I'm just more of an OG street racer. And when we would show up out of town, like if we would go to Chicago and race on a forgiven Saturday night, they didn't know we were coming. We were just going to show up. We were going to try and bust somebody's ass. Sure. So I'm not doing lock-ins because I don't want to be responsible having to pay somebody back their money. I'm not going through all that shit. Like you want to race, you're going to show up this day, and this is the time that we're going to get down. This is the driver's meeting, and we're going to get down. Like I don't like telling people who. Like that's why I was saying I don't want nobody to really know who's coming, because back 10 years ago when you went street racing, you didn't care who was coming. You want to be the badass and go there and win, and like you don't, you don't care. I don't want everybody to know so and so's coming and just show up and race. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of cars. If everybody shows up that has messaged me and said they're coming, right now there will be over 70 small tire cars.
That's amazing. Amazing and a little
$300 a car.
Nice work.
No, that's amazing. That's 21,000 just an entry. Like that's amazing. And that's my hat is proverbially off, but my head's I
appreciate it.
No, the reason why I ask is because I know we've all been watching what's going on with those of us who do lock-ins, and we started doing lock-in for our race, and again, this goes before Anarchy back to COTS. It was always pre-lock-in. It used to be secret, like you're doing. Nobody knew who was coming because you got some scared ass babies out there who won't show up if they know certain people are coming. Well, the problem I'm seeing now is that everybody's scared of PayPal because there's been some strange ass stories coming around about PayPal and holding money or taking money. I have never dealt with it personally, and I get, 20, 30, 40,000 hours coming in on my PayPal, but I also use it for my company. So, it doesn't really throw any triggers because I deal with, company money. So there's a lot of funds going through there, but I was just curious when it said, cash in person, no lock-ins, if there was a particular reason for that or not. Obviously, it's just that's just the way you
it's
do it.
easier. I mean, if you're gonna
Sure.
like you pay at the gate, we're gonna collect all that money. We're gonna put it together in a pile, and one person's gonna get it. It's simple.
No,
Like to
that's
me, it just
I can appreciate that.
it takes out so much of the other just shit and shit that can happen. And somebody saying, "Oh, you didn't get my money," and like I'm not,
Oh yeah,
like I'm gonna
yeah,
count money up when people hand me their money, and the
Right.
property owner is gonna get 50, 300 is gonna go in a bag, and we're gonna have a badass race.
good deal. Oh, by the way, hi Tony V, I see you. Does your car run yet, or are you still parked in the trailer? Tony V is a good friend of mine. Anthony Mangiaracini, you see him in the comments down there. He just wants to give me a hard time, so I got to give him a hard time back. Who else we got in there? Oh, did you see? Was that for your race? Mark Mosher was asking if it's water or they can use glitter.
No, it's any prep. Pour your own puddle.
Okay.
And remember
There you
that I don't want somebody to show up too and they see something hanging off the back of another guy's car and say, "Oh shit, why didn't we think about that?" Or why ain't you kicking him out? There is no rules besides the tire. That's it.
At this point, we want to see we want to see Joey Heichel just swoop in right now to have a conversation about it. He's like, "Oh, it's Peter bombing his butthurt bar. Oh no!"
Yeah.
Street racing was always about the hustle for a long time.
It is. That's where I come from.
Just edge you in this way, okay?
Who are you patching in there, Brian? Yeah, Chris Lane, I see your story about the PayPal thing. It scares me to death. So I don't know if I'll do lock-ins for this next season, but there's more to talk about than just lock-ins. That's a last-minute detail. Oh, there's Casey Max. What's up? Wait a minute. What the hell? He just disappeared. Brian, look at your phone.
I think Ryan just did the SBE 5.3 of the live stream world there.
He checked out.
Yeah, I think he did. I think I see a moon. What is that? Is that a coronavirus on your phone screen? What is that? This motherfucker's got COVID on his phone.
Oop, did I lose your camera there? Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, sorry, I was getting Brian on first. Give me a second.
Mark Mosher's in here talking. He lost $950, the same thing as Chris Lane. And that's, and guys, that's small change. Imagine if you had 20 grand in PayPal.
Exactly.
That was racer funds, and PayPal's like, mine. I mean, like, what do you do at that point?
Well, and just everybody's doing lock-ins. I wanted a different feel. Like I wanted it to feel like in this event, like we're not going to really have an announcer. This is going to be like we are street racing on a guy's private property. We're just not going to be running from the cops. So this is it turned into a little more, but I still want everybody to realize that this is going to be like a street race. This is going to be like what we're trying to do and stay out of the way of the public. We're allowing the public to come in and give some donations to watch a badass street race.
Happy. I think that shows that how much you really love the racing, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't care about all the other BS. It doesn't matter. It's really just gets down to, we want to go racing. We got a spot. Let's just race.
That's
it.
Absolutely.
That's it. And I'm just bringing it back from, because like I said, Louisville, this Thanksgiving was our big day. Like it was huge. Street racing was huge around here. And the cops have got so bad that we've been looking for places for years to try and go street race. Well, now we found one.
Boys, I'll be right back. I'm going to show you something, but I got to go get it. So continue.
Okay. Yeah, I just want an old school feel, I mean, and I hate using somebody else's fame. Like I keep seeing other, and I just don't, man, that just ain't me. The pot's going to be, we're thinking the pot's going to be this. And if you want to run for it, come and get it. That's, we kind of take, Nick and I take a similar approach in a way with like our big and banger race. We don't do anything crazy and special. We don't have a lot of the wow factor stuff that some races might have, but because we just want to go and race with our friends. And the more simple you keep it, the easier it is for things to not have problems. And you just get there, you race, you have a good time, and then you go home. Exactly, man. And that's the way it should be.
Yep.
And I've sat back and just kind of watched how other people's doing different things. And I was like, eventually I'm going to stick my foot out there and I'm going to get it wet and I'm going to put on a race. And then, here it is. And it's took off. It has. If everybody shows that says they're coming.
That's badass.
It's going to be awesome.
Job well done.
Appreciate it. Yeah. And I hope you guys are coming. Nick said he's coming. He's bringing 4 cars. So I hope you're.
I guess we're going to be there. I guess we're
I'm not
in.
mentioning anybody's names, but I'm not saying who's coming. But he did say he's bringing 4.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That'll be a good time. We got Ryan's on with us too. KC Max, most people know him by for his car. I got him to the phone. Unfortunately, he's driving down to the cash out event, so he's here. You guys can all say hi. You guys hear him?
See you in a little bit, buddy. We just got here.
So Happy.
Yes.
Remember you talking about how you guys were tired of running from the cops? It reminded me of something. So I have in my basement down here, not my basement, it's my production studio. No, I have some mementos, right? And I knew exactly what this was. This is from July 9th of 1995. This is the kind of shit we used to have to deal with. They made a task force for us.
Oh yeah, I got one. I got a newspaper clipping too from here in Kentucky. The same way.
Way back in the day.
Wisconsin now. Way back in the day.
Yep.
Same thing.
Here, I'll put this up again just so that some of the local guys can see it. But you could probably find this if you search for it on the internet. Otherwise, I'll take a picture and post it. But at the time, I was living in Alabama at college when all this really took off, and the cops just came down on us like a ton of bricks. And I came back the next year, and there was no racing anymore. I'm like, where the fuck's everybody going? And then Fast and Furious came out and destroyed everything even further, and then it was just pretty much from there. So that's when we started going to the track back in the real late 90s. So anyway, sorry, it was kind of a sidetrack, but when you're talking about running from the cops, I was like, wait a minute, they're going to like this.
Been doing it for years.
It's nuts. Yeah. It's nuts. And honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it tickles my heart to death, but it's a little surprising to me that street racing has been able to get as big and fast as it has, even in major metropolitan areas, and guys get it done.
Oh yeah.
Like back in the day, we were racing 9-second stuff, and we had to get one and done and have to bail. Now they're doing like 32-car shootouts.
Oh yeah.
It's truly impressive. It's really cool. Really cool.
Oh yeah.
Some of the guys are. I don't know if you guys see the note from Troy on the side over there. Yeah. He's asking about
how to get back to the big truck.
Been cut.
The stacker is 13. Height won't be a problem. We've had some guys ask about getting into that track because you do have to cross a small bridge to get onto these people's property. But the way I'm explaining this to everybody, they built this drag strip. So they had concrete trucks, they had low boys, they had semis coming in with tractors and equipment. So if they could get that equipment in there, I feel like you could pretty much get anything in there across this bridge. We're hoping there's going to be plenty of parking, but I'd like to have all the drag races there as soon as possible.
Sounds like a very good time.
The gates are going to open, so if anybody's racing at the Black Friday event the day before, as soon as that event's over with, they can shoot on over to the track. We're going to have signs posted that night to get you in. Racers are going to come in one way that's all blacktop. Spectators are going to come in another way that has a little bit of gravel. But when the racers, I'll be there all night Friday night. I'm going to leave Black Friday's event. I'll be there Friday night. We're going to be cooking out and have campfire, and we're just going to be hanging out. Nobody's going to be there testing, but they'll at least be able to get out there and look how slick this shit is.
Hey, just for those of the guys that aren't real familiar with the Kentucky Louisville area, where is it at, like in relation to Louisville? Something major.
It is. It's south of Louisville, about roughly 45 minutes. To maybe an hour. It's all expressway driving pretty much. And then once you get off, you're going to go I-65 south out of Louisville to Elizabethtown. Okay. And then out of Elizabethtown, it's a few miles out. Yep.
Yeah, I used to, up until recently, I used to go to Southeast. I would run through Louisville, Nashville, Chattanooga, all that stuff. So that's why I was asking, because not everybody knows the lay of the land down there. And I was going to ask you if it's as far south as Elizabethville or closer to Bowling Green, just some guys that may be on the fence know how far they might be going, that sort of thing.
E-Town, Louisville to E-Town, and then outside of E-Town. It's actually real close to a lake that's called Nolan Lake.
Okay.
But where the race is Friday, we're about 25 minutes. So it's going to be real close from Friday's event, Black Friday race, to my race.
Yeah, we'll be in an RV. We're going to be staying there overnight too. So me and
Cool.
my guys, Mark's coming, Kaser's coming with me. None of my guys is going to be there too as well. So we'll be filming. We're going to do tire crack cam. We're going to have an end cam. We'll have a camera that should be able to see it at the start line. So I don't have any issues at all. I'll bring my HDMI transponders and everything. So we'll have all that set up for you guys. We'll have some badass videos. We're definitely going to be there filming all this, capturing everything. This is going to be a wild time.
It's going to be awesome.
Right after Black Friday, race straight to this one. We're camping out. We're going to cook with you guys and have a good time with all the racers and enjoy all our good friends there and everything. So we're hoping to see you all there. If you don't make the Black Friday event, please come to this one. This is the one you want to be at. They're both great events, you know, for both of them. Stacy runs the Black Friday event the day before on Friday. So they're good people. They're going to be on next week as well too. And yeah, Mark, I am definitely going. Guys, rest of questions on the side there. But you definitely this is the place to be, guys. I'm gonna forget people who came in kind of late. I'm just gonna show you guys the surface real quick again. So you guys
show them the flyer too. The flyer's awesome.
Yep, absolutely. Here's the flyer right here. So pour your own puddle, everybody. Brung what you brung. Anything goes except for it's a 10.5 non-W tire, and you're good to go. So it's going to be a great time. Check out all the sponsors. There's a big pot just from the sponsors alone. I'm not letting out of the bag or anything like that, but
it's an impressive group of sponsors you got there, dude. Nice job.
Yes, definitely. And Dylan Einstram's going to be there also too, as far as I understand. He'll be taking pictures, you know.
Dylan will be there. Limpy's going to be there.
Yep. I think Lippy's not flagging though. I think he's just going to enjoy himself, right?
He's just going to enjoy himself, film, and do a live feed.
Dude, after last weekend, that dude needs a vacation. He needs a break. He busted his ass so hard, dude, and he took a lot of guff from people. And I don't know if all you guys were watching the pay-per-view or not. To me, it was worth every bit of $25, probably twice that. You know, yeah, it had problems, but
sure,
you know, there were so many people that are like, I want my money back. I'm like, bitch, get the fuck out. I'm like,
exactly.
Right now?
I was wanting to post everybody's name that wanted their money back. I wanted him to put it. If you had the balls to ask him for your money back, then have the balls put your name out there too, so the rest of us can bash your dumb ass.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. I understand, like, it's frustrating. I get it, you know, but I also don't know how many people bought the pay-per-view and just sat there all day watching it, doing nothing. Like, we all kind of pop in and pop out. That's the point. For $25, dude, I've had bad dinners that cost more than $25. You know, it's like you throw it all in the trash. So
bad movie.
Bad movie, bad dinner, bad lunch, whatever. So I'm glad he's going to be there with you guys and, you know, hanging out and just having a good time and able to enjoy it rather than, you know, constantly being work. Because he and BJ were both. That had to be a long weekend last weekend. There's a lot of racing. Not to mention it was like 20 degrees out. So
it was so cold. Did you guys see the frost in all the cars here? I mean, I can play a video for you guys. I want everybody else to get an idea and get a feel for this. I'm going to play something here. Give me a second.
All right.
And
yeah, I've seen it on the roof of the one video on Tommy's car.
Yeah, I'm going to play. I'm just going to play it for everybody else who hasn't seen
Dylan
it
found the comments. Congrats, Dylan.
So you can see the frost on that towards the end of the night, and you guys just got to watch this for a second. I'll skip it ahead a little bit.
It's like a big sheet of ice peel off the car.
Yeah.
You're going to see some of these cars. I mean, there was some that was almost like that. And you watch that GoPro right there. Look at the height. That's how cool it was, everybody. Everybody still managed to get down the track. So, hey.
That's badass.
Yeah. It was kind of wild because, you know, like when you're racing and going rounds, like it's everything we can do to get turned around and get data checked out and stuff. But at one point, and you got all your gear on, so like I was like comfortably warm, didn't realize it was that cold. And then you just start looking at your car, getting ready to throw the laptop on it. It was like, holy shit, man, this thing's like, it legit is frosted over with ice. Damn, when did this happen?
Well, and it's funny too, because you're in a fire suit, you're all suited up, and you're like, I don't feel so bad. But then on the flip side, when it's like June and we're chilling in like a t-shirt and shorts, like it's nice. You're in a fire suit, just dying. You know?
Yeah.
You're like,
this is 5-layer suit weather all day.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Brian Ripple said he has a flashlight. He could travel. Brian Ripple runs a program at US 41. It's called Streetcar Brawl. And they do, it's a backwards race, flashlight start, very similar to the kind of stuff you're doing. So if you need a light man, he's volunteering.
Awesome.
Definitely.
I'm going to give it hell. I'm going to try it. I've done enough flagging in my days, but
yeah,
give it a
That's
whirl.
the toughest job to do on the whole property.
Flagging is so much fun, but it is a thankless job when something goes wrong, man.
It's tough.
It
I
is.
did it for years, and I kind of miss it. But when we started growing as a program, we needed to be more efficient with our time, and have less arguments and stuff like that. When you've got a one class deal or a street race and stuff like that, like you can't replace the feel of a flashlight. You just can't.
Yep.
But back in the early days, there wasn't, you didn't have the fucking NFL replay. Well, I think there was a ripple in the tire. Let's go back to the tape. It's like,
Exactly.
no, the guy with the light made the call, and that was it.
We went out of town one time and raced, and there was no flag man. It was the best man left first. And this was like in early 2000s, and I was like, what?
So, but whoever stole the hit the worst wins?
Whoever stole the hit the worst.
That's some Chi-Town shit right there.
There was a guy. Yeah.
Dude, that is some rowdy shit.
That's totally.
Bro, I promise you, if Chicago had known about that,
well, that's where we was.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's how we roll. Like Lonnie and Skin and all those guys. Like Skin won't even stop. He'll just roll up and just keep on going.
Oh yeah.
He was the best about it.
I was like, what? There's no flag man? They said, no, best man leaves first. I was like, you're kidding me.
It's the honor system because, street racers are honorable fellows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Pro Stock John's got a question. This is John Ryan. Adam, do you think with different time management, the come up could have gotten the rounds all done? Do you think it was possible, or do you think it was just a mathematical impossibility because it was so big?
Honestly, like if you would ask me on Friday, I really believed we'd be lucky to get through half of first round just because things happen. I mean, when you have that many cars on the backtrack, that means 177 of them at the time. We've never had a race that big on the backtrack. So, there's some amount of those guys that have never been on that type of surface. Sure. So it's really common to have one of them just go out there and just wipe out a bunch or just, that kind of thing to happen. Plus guys breaking. The way the burnout box was, you kind of had to maneuver around to get into the burnout box. So it just looked like it would take a lot of time. But dude, we were super lucky. Like that Friday, they did a great job. There's a little slow getting started, but that's normal. But once things got rolling, dude, I couldn't believe that we got through it so quick. Short of the damn central time where it's 4 o'clock and pitch black, it feels like it's midnight.
Yeah,
but
right.
Like other than that, it went good. Yeah, so if they would have chip drawed on Friday night like they were going to, that would have saved us 2 hours in the morning probably on Saturday. I mean, so theoretically, it could have all got in if we would have started earlier.
Well, and Matt, just to give some people some context, I did the math on it because that's kind of how I think is numbers wise. And you're talking 88 pairs of cars. And an average at a race like that, an average of 4 minutes per pair is pretty solid. And even at that, that's 6 hours just to get their first round, assuming you have zero problems.
Yeah,
so automatically round that up to 8 or 9 hours. Yeah, that's a hell of a first round. So
yeah,
I'll be honest with you, I was surprised they got down to the quarterfinals the way they did because it was just that's a lot of cars. And I know they had a couple of bumps on the wall, and I'm sure they had a couple of oils and
we got lucky. Only one big oil down was it, which is in that kind of weather, the air was so good. It's easy to blow your shit up and not really mean to, honestly.
Well, and I mean, guys are throwing a world at it if they think the surface is going to hold it. So I'm impressed you guys weren't picking up connecting rods. That's pretty solid for that many cars.
Hold on to that thought for 1 second. So there was I don't know if everybody knows what happened, but Nick from New York and his old Nick, his one of his rods shot out of his motor and actually went through and hit a truck. And I'm not gonna show the picture. I have it, but he put a hole in somebody's truck as it launched off the track into one of the spectators' truck. Actually.
Oh shit.
So that was the only instance, though. Everybody
out of the truck than the spectator.
Yeah, it just missed. The dude was sitting in his pickup truck bed filming or something, and it knocked like a bigger than a quarter hole through the side of the bed.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
How's some horsepower? Yep.
I actually found, Brian, I'm going to send you something. I don't know if you can post this on the live feed or not, but it was sent to me by good friend of mine, Ron Story, Small Block. Actually, I'm wearing his shirt from the event that he had recently, Chi-Town Showdown. I did sound.
I owe him a good video that's coming up here in the next
Yeah.
month.
Oh, yeah, I
so.
forgot you were there. Duh, you got there.
Yeah.
But he sent me a thing, and I actually think we found the new designated chip draw dude. If you can play it, you got to play it. It's
Well,
amazing
you
because I
guys
know
talk for a minute. I'll work on getting that for you.
I know
guys.
that some chip draw problems at the come up. So he sent me that, and I'm like, this dude, we need to get this little fella for the chip draw. I don't want to spoil it. You got to see it, but
Okay,
it's super funny if he can post it. If not, then we'll just post it up later. But
I
and
got
actually, I was
it.
going to ask you that, Happy. How do you handle with your program? How do you handle your chip draws? Is it just everybody reaches in a bag and you got matching chips left and right, or different colors, or how do you do it?
Yeah, I'm going to have different colors for the left lane and different color for the right lane. Red's right and going to be numbered. And everybody that's there is going to see all the chips go in the bag at one time. So there ain't going to be nobody holding a chip in their hand.
No Houdini shit, hocus pocus.
Yeah, I've seen it all happen. So no, all the chips are going to go in the bag at one time, and very simple. I'm going to keep all the headache out. It's going to be very simple.
Now, obviously, there's only so much you can do to control it, but as the term I like to use between promoter and event organizer is race putter honor. That's what I've always kind of used as my pet term. So, as a race putter honor, how do you feel about guys that want to trade chips or try to sell chips to get a particular pairing?
See, me personally, I think it's bullshit. Whatever you draw is what you draw, and rock on with it. I don't care if it's your teammate. I don't care if it's your 1st. Or if you're last, and I don't care. Like, stick with what you got and roll on with it. Let's go.
Thank you. I was just wondering because I know I heard about. I think on was it TV shows or something. I'm not really into the TV stuff, so I don't really follow it. But I had heard that there was a trend going around a little while back where guys were, horse trading chips or buying chips off each other, and I just thought to myself, I'm like, why? Like it seems to defeat the whole purpose of the chip draw.
That's fucking weak. Exactly. We kick your ass out of the banger. You go moving chips around. I mean, there's no excuse for that. Like, honestly, something else for us that happened a couple of times last year, and it sucks because we had to stop doing first round call outs because guys were literally basically buying their buddy off or just putting a car in to get that first round just to get a round of data because, the shitty the surface is.
Oh, yeah.
If you got one round of data, that's a game changer. And it sucks that guys are playing that gray area,
Well, and they did, and years ago, again, the early days, the COT stuff way back, we did call outs. The first round, I used to call it the dog and pony show. We would do, all the races and the driver show. We see the big pictures of all the people on the tower. And it's a good time when we had like one or two classes. Once it got to a bunch of classes, it just took too long. But we did first round call outs, which were a lot of fun, and some good videos got made. Actually, 1320 did a really fun video of Boosted GT when nobody would accept his call out. He just went to everybody around there. And in the end, when we pulled the chips, he actually drew the guy that he called out in the first place. So it was, I mean, you couldn't even make it up. My son drew the chips. I just grabbed it. But call outs are so much fun. But at the same time, it's like we had a rule in place that we had the ability to override a call out if you were calling out your buddy. And for the most part, we caught them all. There was one motorcycle guy who will go unnamed that called out another guy. We're like, all right, why not? Well, it was a freebie for data. It was a pass. I found out years later, and I was pissed about it. But it's one of those things where it's like, call outs should be fun. They shouldn't be like strategic. Just my opinion.
100. I agree 100%. That's why it sucks when they screw it up for everybody because it is a fun part of the program when you have some call outs that are very interesting.
Yep. Or for real grudge. I come from
100%.
a real grudge background. And if you've got a real, like I'm allowing first round call outs. And if it's some bullshit and you've got a badass car and it's a stock Suburban that somebody paid $300 to get in, that shit ain't gonna fly. Like
it doesn't look suspicious at all, does it?
No, like that it ain't gonna fly with me. But if I know the real grudges locally, and if somebody wants to call somebody else out, then I want it to happen. I want to see it.
Absolutely, and it's one of those. I think, the first round call outs are just they're so much fun, and I miss doing them. We kind of as a program again got to the point where it was too much time, and there was at one point where one of the last times we did first round call outs, and we had like 8 classes. So, I mean, you can imagine how long this took. And I think out of the 8 classes, I think we had 3 first-round callouts in the entire program.
Right.
And after that, I'm like, guys, we're just going to get rid of them because nobody's using it. Because
Right.
everybody's scared of their own shadow. And it's, I mean, I respect if you just don't want to take that risk, but we're not going to do it if it's just going to be a bunch of wasted time. So, and but hello, Matthew Rower, even though you can't hear me, hi.
I have the video for you, Trent, by the way. I'll play
All
here.
right, you guys want to see the new tell me it is not the greatest thing you've ever seen. Like that dude is so trained, he could do a chip draw without problems. And it would be entertaining as shit. Like, you guys are dying right now. I was crying when I first saw it. I was like, this thing needed to be a Grand Hustle last weekend because I know they had some
100%.
redraw. And I mean, even if let's just play devil's advocate. Let's say that you had to redraw. It's so goddamn funny. You wouldn't care. You're like, let's just do it again. So I'm glad you guys appreciate it because I was dying when I saw it. So Small Buck Ron,
awesome.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you sending that to me.
Definitely, that was awesome. Well, on the flip side, we had 177 cars that turned out. It was supposed to be 256 cars at the come up. To me, it was one of the biggest car events I've ever seen put together. So I do got to say one thing to Shannon is hats off to you for putting together one of the biggest races. I actually was talking with him today a little bit. We got to talk back and forth. It's tough. He posted up his failures and what mistakes that he made, for everybody. A lot of people feel their type of way, and probably a lot of people don't even want to talk about this, but I just wanted to bring it up. What happened. I know that people got shorted and it wasn't fair and it wasn't planned. It should have been explained,
And Brian, I'll be honest. I think that, first I'm going to give Shannon a lot of credit for when he came out and had something to say, he had something to say. I'll give him credit for having, making a very good statement. I don't think he's out of the mud or anything like that. There's still some work to do, but it's not like he just up and bailed and disappeared. I mean, I got in on the fun like everybody else, but I was more concerned as somebody who puts races on. I was more concerned about how this was going to affect the entire sport. Like, it's not like, some dude with a 5K race burned his races. This is the biggest money no prep race ever held. And what the heck is that?
That was Ryan Mitchell. That was great. That was very funny.
I like it. So,
I have many more to post up, but anyways.
Well, and the memes were great. And I hope people understand there was just guys blowing off steam I think that we need to talk about it. Not necessarily. I mean, we could talk about it now, of course, we're supposed to, but I think everyone should be talking about it because there's a lot of lessons to be learned from it for promoters and for racers. And obviously the number one rule of promoting is do what you say you're going to do. Shannon has a great reputation. Everybody I know that personally knows him says he's a very stand-up dude. And from what I've seen so far, I'm inclined to agree with that. I just think his pride got the better of him in the driver's meeting because when he doubled down on that guarantee, I almost fell over when I was watching. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So it happens. I totally understand. But it's one of those where racers and promoters alike can use it as a lesson of, figure out what the mistakes were that were made and try not to do that going forward, because even if it's a race that no one will ever attend, something like that makes waves and it could affect, racers going to a race of a guy they don't know who may be a perfectly stand-up guy because this other guy on the other side of the country had a problem. So, and I'd be interested to hear your guys' opinions on that because obviously that was one of the biggest things in the no prep world this week.
Well, I want to do $1,000 buy-in race next year, but I'm scared to death because the people that don't know me are going to be like, well, I mean, this already happened. And
right.
I'm already looking at a different place that would be a totally no prep type venue and doing something badass. And that was my plan, was to do $1,000 a car. And so that's my only take, but I think, I think the dude needs to make it right. I've made some comments.
Oh, absolutely.
I haven't seen them. He's read them. and I've got my own feelings about it. And if you say something, I think you need to stand behind it and do it. So I mean, I think
you do.
I think these guys, I think the 6 guys are owed $12,000 or, you know,
agreed. And you know, his reputation, even, you know, that I think he's approaching it in a very, what's the word I'm looking at? I think he's approaching in a very diplomatic manner, and he's being very poised with the whole situation, which helps. You know, it's not like, you know, fuck all y'all and out. It's not like that.
Sure.
But the bottom line is, you promised them a certain amount of money. You have to fulfill that promise if you have any hope of keeping your name intact. Now, I know from everything I've read and some private messages and whatnot, he has no interest in returning to racing. This was his curtain call, but I still think he needs to make good on it. Well, you don't have to. I mean, I don't want to start busting out screenshots, but it's a matter of, you know, I think that it's the right thing to do. And if he doesn't, it's going to kind of haunt the sport, in my opinion, and that's something that nobody wants to see. Josh Williams, Mustang Willie, up here in the comments, he, you know, he made a good point. Stop representing races as guaranteed. And I don't know how you guys feel about it. I dropped my guarantees last June because in the middle of the pandemic, I was convinced nobody was going to come and I was going to lose my ass. So I told the racers, we'll do the race, but I'm not guaranteeing anything. Well, as it turned out, I had the biggest crowd I've ever had in any of my events in the last 3 years. So I sent the guys that won and runner-up the money they should have got after the fact. So, and then, you know, they're like, well, why are you doing this? I'm like, because I told you guys I'd make it right if I made money. I made money, so here you go. As you can imagine, they all jumped on the internet and publicly thanked me for it. And yes, that's total sarcasm. They didn't say a word, but that's okay. I felt better about it. I didn't burn nobody. But the guaranteed money is tough.
It is tough.
Racers really don't have a problem racing for their own money, but you just got to tell them that they're racing for their own money. You can't misrepresent it.
Well, and that was supposed to be our own money. I think that was a tough thing. If they would have said 177, which I guess I haven't really honestly sat down and did the math. I believe we only got paid on 174, not even 177. But if he would have said that, everybody would have been okay with it. But at the same time, we all also knew there's how much more money in partial lock-ins. And that was never even discussed about in there, right? So, and as a racer, which we all are, and most everybody I knew that had locked in, they knew when they didn't make it, that money was gone. Like, that's courtesy. That's how it is. That just happens. And everybody knows that sometimes you're the guy that didn't make it. Sometimes you're the guy that won, and you got that lock-in money of somebody else that didn't make it. And that's just how it goes. So that was kind of rough.
And that's where the word I like to use that a lot of promoters need to adopt is transparency.
Yeah.
I've preached it for years because back in the old days, I'm not going to sit there and you know, throw stones or nothing, but there was some math that just didn't add up, if you will. I mean, you know, any promoter who thinks that racers aren't going to do the math is just fooling himself. They're going to do the fucking math. And most racers, they're not going to care how many spectators you had, but if you start messing with their money that they put in, they're going to
start looking.
Right. Yeah. So you need to be transparent. And as a promoter, I don't want to make a dime off the racers ever. Like, I just don't. I'll make my money off the spectators and merchandise. And, you know, that's like the result of if I did my job right. So I should be, and as every other promoter should be, I should be fully willing to list every single amount of money that came in and every single amount of money that went out. You know, and I've been ostracized by a couple people for being that transparent. They're like, it's nobody's business. Well, it's their fucking money, stupid. Of course it's their business. So I don't know.
I'm doing my race and not making a single penny. I'm just doing it because, like I said, the street racing in Louisville for Thanksgiving was huge, and I'm trying to bring it back. The events that are happening around us locally has kind of gotten away from the street feel.
Sure.
The property owner is getting half of the spectator donation, and the other half's going into the pot. And I mean, that's cool, though. I'm doing every bit of this for the racers. Now, next year, if I have a race, I want to get some money off the gate.
Well,
you know?
and you know what's funny is most there's some folks that get upset when they realize promoters can make money, but usually
they should though.
But that's usually the same group that has no idea what it takes to put a race together.
All the shit I've been dealing with for 30 days, it is ridiculous. The comments, the messages I'm getting 200 messages a day.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think if I remember right, when the original stuff was put up for it also. So like we know Shannon very well from the start. Shannon's been a good friend. Shannon's got my phone number. I got his phone number and have for years now. And when it was originally set up, I believe the number count ended up being to where he was going to keep like 16 grand or something, right? Of the racer buy-in. And there's a lot of guys that were upset with that. But to me at that time, I'm like, we put on races. We've done quite a few, just like you guys have. It almost is never worth it at the end of the day, right? So if he was going to keep that money, if that was the money he was going to make, and it was that little bit, and we were still getting that $250,000, I was all for it because he spent all year busting his ass to get it to where it is. He was taking a lot of risk. So that was, to me, was giving him some good guaranteed money. And I thought I had no issues with it. I know there was people out there that did. I had no problems with that because you guys got to make something as race promoters, because when it becomes not worth it anymore, we have nowhere to race.
Yep.
So we need guys to make money so they will put on the race. We don't want to put races on anymore because it's a pain in the ass. I just want to race. So I need you guys to make money so you'll keep doing it so we can keep racing, you know?
Right.
Yep,
Or
so
at
we
least,
lost all the civil wars now because of this.
or at least enjoy the volunteering, you know. That's what I've learned. I've done a lot of volunteer stuff like you were talking, Happy, and I've done, promoting for profit for a few years. And it's not so much about the money, it's about A, not losing money, and B, enjoying what I'm doing.
Sure.
You know, and it's tough, especially, I don't know if you guys pay attention to what goes on up by us, but our area is rough. Like they're pretty vicious on you when they think you did something wrong. And that's part of what we're going to discuss a little later. But when it stops being worth it, either financially or there's no gain in it for you, like you just at the end of the day, you're just like, why did I waste my time? Then guys walk away, and then you don't have a race, or somebody new steps in and they have to start over again. So it's
I haven't been.
Tough.
One thing on like comment wise I've seen on this that I don't really, and I guess guys don't get it if they're not racers sometimes, is, they were all, you guys should be happy you got 29,500 or whatever. Well, okay, that is money, but we were owed more. And the thing is, if you're a promoter, if you're a racer, you're going into this deal the same, right? If you're a promoter, you're busting your ass all year, you're doing all these things, working hard, you're staying up late. You're doing all that work so that hopefully there's this big reward at the end. You make money as a promoter, let's say, and I think that's what he was going for. As a racer, we're doing the same thing. We're up all night working our cars. We shut our shop down for 2 weeks. How many sets of tires we go through? You got to travel. We spend all this money and gambled on, are we good enough to make it to where we can win the big money? And you take the bigger risks because it's all that big money. So we're doing anything we can to get that done. So 29.5 sounds like a lot of money, but it isn't when you're owed a bunch more, because we spent a lot of time and effort to try to get to that level. It's not a 5-minute prep deal to come race this and try to make 100,000. It's everything we could do for months to get ready for this.
Well, and I had one of my local guys call me, and he was asking my opinion, and he's like, I don't really see kind of what you're saying right there. He's like, I don't really see why. I mean, it sucks, but they still got paid almost 30 grand. I'm like, hold up, motherfucker. I'm like, listen to me. I said, if I guaranteed you 10 grand and then gave you $7,500, you would all crucify me in public.
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's $2,500 bucks. I'm like, this is almost $12,000. I'm like, you can't do that. And honestly, it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 to 750 or it doesn't matter. It's if you say you're going to do it, you got to do it. And that's the hardest part, in my opinion, as a promoter. It builds a little bit of an ego on you. And I've been accused of having an ego, and I'm okay with that sometimes. But you can't let it run you and make you do something incredibly stupid, like commit to something that you just can't reasonably do. And I'm right with you, Adam. If he had told the guys in the drivers meeting, hey, we're down on cars, we got 177, we're racing for that, and I'm going to throw a couple grand on top or something like that, there would have been some grumbling, but everybody would have been just fine with it, and it would have avoided the whole problem.
100%. And so part of that deal is too, then, like, so for us going into the final 6 with our buddy Colt's car, one of our customers, that thing freaking pushed water the pass before, right? So we have a decision. We have a $25,000 fucking long block here. What are we going to do to win that money next round? Well, okay, we're racing for 42. Fuck it, let's drain the water out. If we torch ahead, that's $3 grand. We can win 42. So you sometimes make decisions based on what you think you can win because of the risk reward situation. And then if that's not there, if things go bad, and here we just wasted a $20,000 long block shooting for 40, and now we only ended up with 20, that kind of really sucks, because everything you were shooting for, it was for naught. And then you trash your stuff, and that's why it's kind of, it's a big deal. If you're going to pay it, we got to have it.
Absolutely. And again, it all boils down to the golden rule. Don't say it if you can't do it.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. And it's to me, I mean, obviously the money, especially, I mean, it's a lot of money to anybody, but to me, the principle is what part that people are going to remember longer, when all the dust settles and this fades into the back. Nobody's going to remember how much the racers got shorted. They're just going to know the racers got burnt.
Yeah.
And that,
I know that,
they just,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I know Schoolboy got shorted 300. I think you got shorted even more than what they did, for example.
Yeah, we got shorted 500. Now, we'll say right before we got here, Shannon did send me a screenshot sending the $500 that we were shorted. So that's super appreciative of that. I mean, Shannon has always been a stand-up guy in the past, and I still do hold hope. He hasn't called me or nothing. We haven't talked about any of this, unfortunately, but I still hold hope that he is going to make it right with everybody, because I get that, if you don't have the money, I guess you don't have the money, but there's the money had to have been somewhere sometime. So whether his family or his group went hungry or ours did, at that point, it's like, why is my family going hungry? We gambled and we won the bet.
Well, you did what you're supposed to do.
100%, right? So if anybody's got to go hungry, it's got to be you.
Oh,
it ain't us.
And any business owner knows this. The first person to forego a paycheck is you. That's just how it works. Everybody thinks owning a business is, basically, hookers and cocaine all the time. It's really not. I mean, maybe for some guys, but I started a truck shop when I was in my 20s, and we worked for nothing for a long time, because we're just trying to get the business built up. And to touch on what Chris Lane said in the comments, that's exactly it. Until he makes it fully right, all the efforts, while commendable for sure, it's not, you're not going to be able to let that start to heal. I mean, it's never going to be fully the same way it was, but, again, I commend him for what he's doing so far, but until, right now, I feel like I wish we had a video clip on demand where it's just, show me the money. Like, until you get that, unfortunately, it's all just words and polite efforts at that point. So I am hopeful for you guys that he does make it right. And, a little self-serving for the rest of us, because I think it will make us all look less bad going down the road. If that makes any sense.
100%. 100%. I know Corey down here at Darlington was, when I talked to him earlier in the week, he feels the heat too. Every one of you guys putting on a race, especially one that's for big money. This one's 20 grand this weekend. I mean, you feel that heat now, because you're all under the microscope, because it's like, all right, we sent our money. Do you still have it? Because that last guy, he didn't have the money.
Right.
So
it's just going to be like, you have to have like a show and tell. Like, all right, guys, I just want to show you, and like a counter, like you're Wolf of Wall Street, here you go. We got all the money. So, I mean, and honestly, from my own perspective, if that's what it took to instill confidence in the racers, I would, because I've never showed up at a track without purse ever.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna show you guys a clip above, actually, from the event up there. I'll show you guys a couple of memes from it, if you guys don't mind.
Sure.
Shift gears a little bit here. It's getting a little late. So,
special edition, we go 90 minutes.
Yeah, we are going late today, so definitely. Here we go, right here.
Yeah, Chris Lane, that's a good question. Is the money actually there?
Very good. So there we go. There's the controversy about the can, and I'll show you guys.
What was the controversy?
I don't know if you know about Schoolboy and Kindle.
Okay.
Wrong one. No,
Wasn't that where? Don't do that.
I know I did the wrong one. Hold on.
Not yet.
Sorry, guys.
Was that where Mork was like threatening Kendall, or was that?
There we go.
Spray can prep.
The spray can prep.
What
there we
you
go.
guys want to? Because obviously I didn't catch in on this. What exactly? What?
So
happened?
like I was behind Schoolboy. Oh God.
Wow, that's awesome.
I was behind Schoolboy in the water box. So apparently one of the cars before us, because I think he was first pair, I was second pair at that round, had put some, I believe it was antifreeze down, put something down, and it was in the groove. It was in both grooves, actually, in that right lane. So, I mean, they were out there goofing around for a while trying to figure out how to get it all up. And then the decision, I guess, at some point was made, let's put fire to it and burn it off. No problem. So it took them a couple of times. I believe he did some of it the first time, and then I think Brandon went and looked it over and said, well, we still have more over here. So they got a lot more aggressive with it. I mean, it took them like 20 minutes probably. We sat back there. Honestly, I was sitting in the truck thinking that they're just going to call it and throw 20 grand at everybody and just be done, because you do worry about, is one lane going to be better than the other lane kind of situation. But they let it cool down also. And then plus they did offer both skinnies and then the goat. If you want us to spray, if you want us to basically do the same thing to your lane that we just did here, we'll do it. And both declined. So at that point, it is what it is.
Okay. So they were cleaning the lane off with a can of brake clean, basically.
Exactly right. Yeah, they were just trying to burn all of it out of the asphalt and stuff. So.
Well, and that's with coolant generally, and anybody's ever done any kind of track prep is coolant is easily dealt with a torch. However, you can fuck that asphalt up real quick. You get carried away with it. So you have to be mindful of it. The idea is to soak as much of it up as you can, and then torch the rest and just kind of dry it out.
Yep. I will say that I don't know about Schoolboy, but mine didn't hook any better than I had in the other lanes any time before. So I really don't think the little bit they did there to clean up with some heat did a single thing to make it better.
Right. And also something just to keep in mind, it's old mechanic trick when I was wrenching years ago. Most of you probably know this, but if you got antifreeze all over the place, just grab a bottle of windshield washer fluid. It'll displace antifreeze real quick.
No shit.
It's a trick an old man taught me when I spilled some antifreeze. I'm like, God, I got to wash it all off. He just grabs a bottle of windshield washer fluid, just dumps it all over the car. He goes, it'll push the antifreeze out. Don't worry about it. And sure as shit, it did. No antifreeze anywhere.
Little tech tip.
Yeah. So, and hello, John Fisher, by the way. He's over there saying hello, hello, hello.
What's going on, John?
Oh.
So, well, yeah. It was an interesting event, epic, and I think it'll be talked about for a long time.
Agreed.
Shannon's gonna.
It will because it's the one time you get all of us guys that do that type of racing together. It'll probably never happen again, and that's why it was so fun. When do we all, that group of guys, because it's kind of its own deal. It's kind of like radial race guys that do radial stuff, and this backtrack stuff's kind of gotten big this year, especially. And you all know who you are and who's the fast guys. To have so many of them in one place at one time was badass.
That was nice to see so many friends. That was so nice.
It sounds to me like that's an open invitation. Happy, you can do your $1,000 race now. It's all on you.
Try.
Happy's where it's going to be next year.
There you go, guys.
But I think we should just go for $500,000. Let's just stop playing. Just $500,000, be done with it. So, and Jasper, you're right. Windshield washer fluid is methanol. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend using M1 because it's kind of greasy, but nonetheless, it's it works. I prefer to use ethanol. If you have E98, I used to haul it, but E98 cleans up, and it's also a little trick if you spill oil on a prep track. A little ethanol and a mop, it won't fuck the prep up and it'll pull the oil right out. So just keep that in mind. All right.
Sounds good. So, I want to thank you guys. I know we have some more topic you want to get into, Trent.
Well, here, I'll ask you guys because obviously, Adam, you've raced and put on races, and Happy, you put on races, and you're a street guy. I'm dealing with a little bit of a situation up here. We put our dates out. We switched venues this year. And I really, really am trying to avoid getting into the details of why I left the last venue. But let's just say I had to sever a 20-year relationship over it, so it's pretty severe. Now there is a replacement event that has now announced they're scheduling on the same date as I am. That's the one. And I'm just curious. It's caused a lot of commotion. I haven't decided how I'm going to deal with it yet or if I'm going to deal with it. It might get a little ugly. I'm trying to avoid that, but unfortunately, I've been doing this a lot longer than they have, the guys that are running that race. So I'm just kind of curious if you guys have any input on that, because this is going to be a fairly heated local conversation here. So I was curious, you guys being from out of town, what you think?
Man, that's always a tough deal. Like we used to deal a lot with that kind of problem in Ohio. Those guys would just chew each other up over there every other week with
Yeah.
stuff. And I don't know. Sometimes it seems like guys feed off of it a little bit also, and
A little, yeah.
it just sucks because there's only so many dates, and everybody wants their date, and it's so hard to resolve it peacefully. But
Well, and to be honest, there's two different ways to look at it. That the event that I host, Anarchy, which was basically a continuation of the old COTS event. It's been on those weekends, and it's only a 1-day program. Just for clarification, it's been on those 2 weekends for probably 6 or 7 years consistently, and I understand. The venue has open dates now. My whole concern is that the venue kind of created the problem by mistreating me. That's why I left. And so now, suddenly it's a big deal because I don't know if they're trying to basically put me out of business or what's going on. I think it's kind of petty and a little juvenile, and it's very hypocritical because we've had conversations in the past where, racetracks that try to essentially fight like this, nobody wins.
right.
The ones that suffer are everybody suffers. The
Racers are
racers
gonna
suffer,
suffer.
the
Racers.
fans
Yeah.
suffer, the tracks
Yeah,
suffer
that's what
because
sucks.
attendance goes down, and
Costs are
it's
gonna be
just
low.
right. And it's a political mess. Um, and again, I was going to come on here and kind of get detailed and personal, but I just think we're going to take the high road on that for right now, because frankly, I'm better than that. I'm not going to get down in the mud and get petty unless I really have to. So I'll address that if it's necessary. But needless to say, it's unfortunate that we're even dealing with it. It's really unfortunate. I was hoping for better. I've traditionally put my dates out in the end of October for several years, and they've been public. There's been ads running. Everybody knows what it is. Go ahead. And this is the other problem I have is, if you're going to promote your event, you might want to get off the nuts of another promoter because it just looks bad. And this is something they think it's funny and that's fine and all, but it just makes you look kind of hopeless, I guess. It just, I don't know, hopeless isn't the right word. Like, get your own shtick, make your own flyers, get your own shtick. If you have to constantly take shots at someone else, I mean, hey, what did they say? Something about imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And, you know, something about mediocrity and greatness. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it was a neat quote that popped up earlier, but I opted to go with the shorter version. Brian, post that flyer up, the one that they made, the mockery of mine. Do you have my original one? Did you have it?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm not going to post that one back up again. Actually,
No, you can't. I don't care. I'm a good sport.
Now you could just move it to the back of the track, and we'll just all of us backtrack guys come over there and party with you.
Well,
there we go.
That has.
Then you got two different kinds of events there, win-win.
Well, I could also guarantee money on it too if I was in a position to do that, which I might, simply because the event that they're replacing it with, I'm not going to knock the event itself, simply because this is the temporary flyer I've got out. My September date, the venue is not confirmed yet. But I'm not going to sit there and talk shit about the event because it's just not right. It's very similar to the stuff that I've done in the past, and I've been to one of them, and it's a neat event. I'll give them that. The problem is that it's basically they're kind of coming at it like rookies, and they're making some I call it rookie political mistakes, but it's just we don't give a shit, and it's basically a track event. And the track's not going to put any money into it. They used to yell at me about putting money in classes and how stupid I was for doing it. So maybe we could do a backtrack, but I don't want to tread on the streetcar brawl guys. Derek Clem and Brian Ripple. Brian was in here earlier. They run the streetcar brawl at US 41, and that's a backtrack event. They've been doing it for a couple of years, and they have a good little program going. People enjoy it. So I don't want to step on any toes in that respect. So I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, but I'm just going to have to kind of sit down and think about it because I honestly don't know. It's a shitty situation that shouldn't have been done this way. Basically, it was done to spite me, to be a dick about it, and it kind of makes you look bad as a promoter. Yeah, for doing something like that. If you know someone's got an event 100 miles away and they're like, well, we're just going to put it on the same date and fuck you. Well, it doesn't do any good for anybody, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, we're good with that.
So
I'm sure that'll come up again later. Not today though.
yeah, there'll be plenty to talk about it. Definitely, I know it's tough with the new track surface up there, and I just feel bad for all my friends who are racers and the pot, and I hope that something better comes out of all this, for everybody. So,
Well,
I'm
you
here to
always got to
support
do what's
everybody.
best for
So
the racers.
that's absolutely right.
So
So,
that's one of the hardest parts.
all right, guys. So our video went live. So I'm gonna kind of end things and let this video play for everybody. And I want to thank you guys for coming on.
Cool.
I don't want
Thanks
to
for
keep
having me.
things. I do got to do a quick shout out on a few things real quick. So this weekend we're going to be out at the Cash Out event. That's Corey's event. You're going to see Adam there, Casey, and Nick from New York. He's trying to get his motor buttoned up and get there for the drivers' meeting. I saw his poster earlier. So this is the place to be. It's going to be a badass event. It's sold out. There's going to be a lot of spectators. It's going to be about 50, 60 degrees, unlike Chicago here, where it's 32 and snowing outside. Just for everybody, in case you didn't know what it's like over here.
It sucks. I walked outside, froze my ass off.
Yep. So here's a little more details on the schedule, what's going down. But it's going to be a good event, guys. So we're looking forward to being down there. I appreciate them inviting us to come on out. And
It's a good looking flyer.
Be great. Yeah.
He's still got a couple of spots open too, just so if there are guys that are interested. It's been sold out for a while for the most part, but I think in the last day or two he's had a few guys back out of big tire and small tire. So for any guys that are interested, I mean, especially that surface is very similar to the Brawl. The 41 Big End, that is like about as close as you get to Darlington. It's really, really bad.
Oh, yeah.
You got any of them guys up there with tune-ups, come on down.
There you go.
So I think it's 5 small tire and 5 big tires open, I think, if I remember right.
Okay.
5? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you got, Adam, you got any Chicago guys coming that you know of so far?
Schoolboy's hunting. Damn him. He's too busy wasting time hunting instead of racing with us.
At least it's not RC car race. At least it's not RC car racing. At least he's
God. No kidding.
Hey, they just had a cash day RC event. It was last Sunday. I was actually going to stop, but I didn't make it back in time.
Dude, they're making big money with that shit now.
Yeah.
Like they're doing cash days for like $200 and like 100 guys show up. It's like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? But hey, they like it. More power to them.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, we got like 5 cars in between 2 classes. I don't think anybody else. I don't think Joey's coming down. I don't think Brandon's coming down. As far as some other guys that are your way,
nobody's from Chicago's coming down at all.
Well, if I get done early enough, because Brandon and I live in the same town, he's on the other side of town from me, and he's got a T-shirt for me. So I may run over there before he goes to bed, and I'll go slap him in the pee and tell him he's a load up for the weekend.
Exactly.
They're in the garage working on Ashley's car right now. So.
Yeah, they were tearing her with the lift down like this far.
Yeah,
Can't even see it.
And he's got Carney's a little bit of love after the last event I was at. So, but I'll show you guys also before Happy's event, we have the Black Friday Blitz Runners event. We're going to be there with Limpy filming that event also too. So that's going to be a good event. You guys want to go check that out? Definitely, you guys should be there. I know a lot of the guys are going to be there. It's going to be a packed event. I'm going to be down in Nashville for Thanksgiving, and I'm going to be visiting Memphis 10 and with all them, doing some one-on-one stuff with them, and then heading up to the Black Friday event, and then I'm heading up to Happy's event and working my way back towards Chicago. So it's going to be a fun week next week.
You're going to need a fuel sponsor pretty soon, Brian.
Oh, man.
All that driving, Jesus. You're going to be sponsored by BP.
I'm telling you. Well, we're working on an RV, so we should have one for that event there. But
you're going to need 2 fuel sponsors for the RV. You're going to drink that shit like style.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I found a new door for the Ford Flex down in Mississippi. So do I go an extra day and drive down to go pick it up and for the dent in the door? But we'll see anyway. So
let's get a plunger.
Yeah, there we go. So, but anyway, so I thank everybody for being on here, Sharon. I know it's been a late night. We kept it kind of friendly tonight, so I thank everybody for that. And definitely go see Happy's event, guys. That is a big event, the Black Friday event. Next weekend is going to be lit. We're going to bring you another badass video from Cash Days, from this Cash Out event here. And we look forward to the events here in Chicago as the battle continues. And we'll have them on as well, too. And we'll see where all this turns out.
Good
But
deal.
anyways, thank you, everybody.
Adam, happy, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks, guys.
And
Good luck this weekend, Adam.
Thank you very much. Happy to
Yep.
see you next weekend, buddy.
And I'll see you next weekend.
And y'all are going to make me drive to Kentucky, aren't you?
Oh, you got to come down, Trent. We appreciate it.
I'm going to try.
So everybody go to our channel, check out, we just dropped the premiere, why we've been on the show here at 9 o'clock. We appreciate the love. It's just some footage you guys had never seen, some of the stuff that wasn't on the live feed. There's some stuff in there you guys might want to check out. I kept it kind of friendly, but there'll be a bigger video coming. There's just so much content. I got 1.5 terabytes of video footage.
That's a lot.
Holy
That
cow.
sounds like a lot. I mean, I don't know.
I
I still use 3 1/4 inch floppy, so that sounds like a
Oh
lot.
boy.
1.44 megabytes is this big. You know? Good old days.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna play the video here. Please go to our channel. We appreciate
All
the
right.
love and support. I also want to give a shout out to Michigan Critical Power for helping us at this event. They get us that generator. Limpy's live feed, you guys, would not have happened without that generator, because that's what powered all his equipment the whole time.
turbo.
And look at that turbo right there. I'm
Turbo
just saying,
speed.
guys.
Adam's
So-
like, fuck this. I got to work on the car. Love it.
Looks like it's already loaded up in the
Hey,
trailer.
hold up.
Oh,
Real
yeah,
quick,
dude.
Adam, hey, Adam, let me see your hat. From a
Oh,
distance.
other side, other side. Oh, there
From
we
a
go.
distance. I can't
Let me
see
see.
it.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. From a distance, dude, I swear to God, I thought you were wearing a Jimmy John's hat.
Uh,
I was like, this guy
That's
really likes
Force
his sandwiches.
Performance, buddy. That's
All right,
Force Performance. Robert Young,
from
Santa
a
Boost.
distance, from a distance, I couldn't tell. Plug your shop, dude. Plug your shop. Who is it?
Mid-America Customs is us, me and Nick Taylor, and we got a great group of guys, but we do all kinds of shit, fabrication, EFI. We got a hub dyno, so
oh,
we kind
nice.
of build these kind of cars every day, all day.
It's all work and all
Sweet.
play all day. I like it.
Any
Yes, sir.
sponsors you want to plug it all to while you're here?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, of course, Robert at Force Performance is awesome. Ron at Northwest Auto Machine, he's helped us out a ton with some motor stuff. Brandon, Low Dollar, Brandon from Low Dollar Motorsports, Brandon Dollar, great dude. Man, there's probably more, but I kind of forget, but that's kind of the gist of it. And just all the guys at the shop that work with us. Thank you. They make it possible for us to come do this all the time. They help us out. They bust their asses at the shop and on the road. So we appreciate it.
Good group of guys there. So we'll look
Can't
forward to
get
seeing you
going
guys
on
out in
sponsors.
Cash Out. We're going to head out here in just shortly here. I'm going to play this video clip. Thank you all. And we'll see you guys all next week. All right. Take care. We'll see you again next week. Happy. We'll
See you
talk
guys.
more.
See you next
Alrighty.
Thursday.
Take care.
That money clip, I started girlfriends are like, whoa. I hit recorded, drop you. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring. Now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier. Looking like I'm from the deep. These no Cartiers. Pockets deep, deep, deep. Making it sweet. Making noises a beat. I press the button and the doors go off like.
I do 20. I don't got no man. 20. I got a 10 in here somewhere. I got 20. You like over here? I get you for 10.
Neighborhood be the name. Neighborhood that's me. Neighborhood that's Nick. Neighborhood do the dance. Neighborhood do the deal.
So my name's Billy Raines. People call me Wild Bill. We're from Houston, Tomball area, Texas. And we come down here to see if we can't get this money.
Awesome. Good luck out there getting that bag out there.
All right, appreciate it.
Spinning doors. Big bags overseas that we gon' go. Whoa. I press the button and the doors go off like.
No, you ain't graduating. You gotta go.
No, it's way farther out.
It's been there 5 cars.